very favorite comics in the city of Toronto. Everybody, please welcome Chris Smith.
Woo!
Keep it going for Dan, guys.
Woo!
Oh, okay. I've been living in Toronto for a couple years at this point, and I've come to the definitive conclusion that I can't trust anybody who lives in the city. I know this because of a recent interaction that I've had with a homeless woman, and I'll give you some context as to what our relationship is. For the past 2 months, I have been giving this woman change who has been hanging outside my apartment. We have a nice conversation about the weather for 5 minutes, and then I enter my home. This goes on for a little while until yesterday, when I give the woman change and we begin our conversation about the weather. I say, hey, it's getting colder out there. She's like, yeah. Well, I better get back inside. And then she goes to the apartment complex across the street from mine and buzzes herself in. I've given this woman $60 over the past 2 months. I'm thinking I'm giving her next meal. I didn't realize I was contributing towards her cable bill. It's ridiculous. It's like I should not be giving money to anyone. I'm broke all the time. I'm a millennial. That's kind of what we do. Here's the thing. Millennials get a really bad rap for a lot of things, but we do have one really positive thing going for us, and that's we really don't have to worry an awful lot about identity theft at all, because I don't know who would want to do that, to be honest. Like, I would love to see the look of anger and embarrassment on the person's face who's stolen my identity when they realize that they now owe $60,000 to the Ontario government. And all I have to show for it is like 2,000 unused Sears Club points. Can't even use those anymore. It's gone. Sears is gone. The world is slowly dying. But no, we're so broke that we actually have the ability to change like certain sayings in the English language. Like, do you guys remember the phrase, she treats you like a dog? And how at one point that used to be insulting? Have you guys seen how well dogs are treated nowadays? I guarantee you that for the next 10 years, my parents' dog is going to have way better health insurance than I'll ever be able to have. He treats you like a dog. It's like, really? You get 3 free meals a day, lets you sleep for 12 consecutive hours, and are praised for not peeing on the carpet? I don't know how you get through your day. That sounds so difficult. Oh my goodness. Like, okay. Getting older in and of itself is a really weird phenomenon, you know? Like, because you learn a lot of stuff about yourself. Most of them are things that you really don't like about yourself. Like, do you guys remember the specific moment when you realized that you no longer had a unique personality anymore? Yes, 'cause, I do, for sure. I was at my friend's housewarming party, and I've known this dude for about 10 years at this point, and this was the best piece of dialogue that I could muster up at the time. I go up to him and I say, hey, so where does your house face? East! You must get a lot of great natural sunlight. And I remember as soon as I said that sentence, the first thing that popped into my head was like, oh, okay, so it's over then. Like, that's it, you know? I didn't realize by the time I was 24 years old I'd have as much personality as a mannequin from Old Navy. It's embarrassing. Oh my goodness. But, you know, I realized the worst part about getting older, really, is that I remember when you're younger, you have some negative traits about yourself, and you actually, oh good, I get musical background to it. There's this weird thing when you're younger, there's traits about yourself that you don't like that you can fix, but when you're older, that's kind of just who you are as a person now, you know what I mean? Like, you're not 16, you're not going to college, there is no ability to reinvent yourself. I'm not like a midwife divorcee, you know? Like, this is who I am at this point. Like, I'm an incredibly selfish person, and I just need to accept the fact that I am that human being, right? But here's the thing, my selfishness, it's not overt, you know? It manifests itself in these really strange ways, and I'll give you an example of this. I was at lunch with a friend of mine recently, and this old guy walked into the restaurant. Now, have any of you guys seen somebody that was so old that you needed to stop your conversation mid-sentence just to watch this dude sit down? Just like to observe the physical mechanics that it takes for this guy to crouch? Like, that's how old this dude was. And let me tell you something, people give old dudes like that, like, space. Like, more space than air traffic controllers give to Boeing 747s. Like, get out of this dude's way, because everybody knows, every human being knows that if this guy falls, he is shattering like a dollar store vase. It is over for this dude. And I'm nervous, right? But here's where my selfishness kicks in, right? Because I'm not nervous that this dude is gonna fall. I'm nervous that this guy is going to fall near me. Because I don't know what it is about human beings, but they treat people who have fallen down like garbage. Whoever is closest to that garbage, that is your responsibility to do something about it. Like, even if that guy falls in the middle of two booths but leans a little bit towards mine, the person in the other booth can just be like, I'm finishing my turkey club, I don't know what you're doing. Are you going to help him? You're a bad person. You guys have been so much fun. Thank you so much for listening. I'll bring back Dan.